Looks like things are heating up in the kitchen. Lots more to come from Lockerville later but on the show. But right now, we're getting to know our canine friends a little bit better by understanding how they perceive the world around them by looking at their senses. Now, over the past 2 weeks, we've covered sight and also smell. Yes. And today, Ansie is with us this morning. We're talking about hearing, which in my opinion, one of the most important senses for dogs. Ansie, welcome back. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Oh, and hello to you guys as well. Good morning. This one seems nicely awake this morning.
They both are.
Yeah. So we're talking hearing this morning, which I think is, as I mentioned, one of the most important senses, in my opinion. So let's start right at the beginning. From a puppy, I understand that puppies actually can't hear when they are born.
Nope. Their hearing only starts to happen around about 12 to 14 days, which is when if you make a sudden noise like a clap, they register some sort of sense that they've heard it. Prior to that, there's absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting thing is they're actually born with heat sensors in their noses to find mom.
Really?
Because they can't see and they can't hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heat sensors in their nose.
Amazing.
That's very interesting. Okay, so but once those ear canals open, I mean, they rely on their hearing, so, smell and hearing.
In that order.
Yeah. Smell and then hearing.
Yes.
Okay. So how can you help us understand how they perceive sound by maybe comparing it to what we hear?
Well, just to understand how it just basically works, both the human and dog, you've got 3 sections of the ears. The outer ear, which is the part you can see, and in dogs it's called the pinna. And then you've got the middle ear, which is where the eardrum is, and then the inner ear, which is where the nerve for hearing is situated.
All right.
And what happens is the ears will capture the sound waves. In the case of dogs, they will funnel them through the middle and into the inner ear, and that's where we translate, or where the sound waves are transformed into identifiable sounds. So it works the same for dogs and humans. What is different is because of the way their ears are compared to ours, they hear a lot better than we do.
Okay.
First of all, our ears are placed laterally and they cannot move independently.
Yeah.
Whereas dogs are amazing. Their
They scoop up sound waves.
Yeah, they scoop them up, and there's like antenna, and they'll sort of rummy around, look for the source of the sound, hone in on that with the one ear, hone in with the second ear, and then they are able to get the maximum amount of sound waves through there, which almost act like amplifiers.
Exactly, and almost pinpoint a location as to where that sound is coming from.
Exactly, so they can pinpoint exactly where the sound is coming from. We can't.
Yes.
We can to a certain degree. If we lost our hearing in one ear, we would not be able to at all.
Yeah.
Then not only pinpoint it, but be able to siphon out that one exact noise they're looking for, or tracking, or tracing.
Yes.
And then also distinguish between the different noises, whether it's they should be fearful of it, or if it's good, it's bad, it's, you know, whether there's a problem.
But I mean, also
so
they can
interpret those sounds as well.
And they can also, of course, hear much higher frequencies that we actually can't hear. Hence those little dog whistles that we all know.
That's the second major difference. And round about the lower range, we hear pretty much similar. But the higher range, they can hear 2 octaves higher than we can.
Right.
And the reason for that is based because, again, for looking for prey, they want to hear their prey. And small prey operate in those high frequencies.
Exactly.
So they hear a lot more. They have a lot more information about sounds going on around them than we do. Which is probably why when you find a dog barking at supposedly nothing, you just can't hear it.
Exactly, maybe not. But by understanding a little bit more about how a dog's hearing works, how does that enable us, the human that actually takes care of that dog, to even take care of it better?
Well, bear in mind that because their hearing's so much more sensitive, if you have things like hair dryers, loud, horrible noises and coffee grinding machines, particularly dogs with pricked ears, they will be incredibly sensitive to that sound. And that sound is not, sometimes could even be as painful, but certainly would be uncomfortable. Some hair dryers as well, that sort of thing. And of course around guy forks and all of that
loud
stuff
noises,
going,
hence a lot of dogs.
Hectic, yes.
Exactly.
And you playing, if you're playing your music at like where the whole car is shaking, then you must know your dog is going through agony.
Well, I'm glad you came this morning, because really just making us aware as to how sensitive their ears actually are, because they can hear much more than we can, and you can really then be, or you're really able then to just take better care of your canine. So just before we wrap up, here's a quick test.
Yes.
All right.
To show how their ears work.
They are completely
Excellent.
unaware of this sound that's about to happen. Let's see what happens if we play this. All right.
You'll also find you saw Bella there cocking her head slightly. They're able to adjust.
Okay, well, they're used to it now. But I mean,
Well,
that was
they
a
also,
really great...
They grow up with cats, now that I think about it. They actually grow up with cats.
Like what, cat? Yeah, okay, never mind. Now we know what that is. Ansie, thank you so much for coming through and just teaching us a little bit. Looking forward to next week. We'll see what we're going to be talking about next week. Once again, or yet again, another very awesome sense, doggy sense. Hey, we'll see you guys
Thank you.
right after these ad breaks. Don't go anywhere. Hey, boy.
Share the love with South Africa's most loved dog food, Bobtail, for strong South African dogs.